In this video series, we are going to create an animation in our Navisworks model. We will want to move the truck all the way here, carrying the crate, and then we'll have a lift truck picking the load and dropping it on the floor. To accomplish this, the first thing that we need to do is to go to the View tab and turn on the selection tree, the viewpoints, and if we go to Windows, we can also turn on the sets. The sets are already picked, and what the set is a group of items that have been previously selected. So for example, we have the crate, highlights when we select crate. We have the trucks, the side of the trucks, which is basically selecting this element on the side and using control and picking the side, and over here picking the side as well. So we have 3 elements. So the elements can be picked using the mouse button, or they can be directly picked over here. Right now I picked the InfraWorks file, and there's a house and a road, and these are all meshes. So it's only part of the surface, and we can hide one by one. I'm going to undo. Or what we can do is just, since the sets were already selected, we picked all of them by going to the InfraWorks model, and we then save the selection. So to add to a set, we would, for example, if we want to add this house over here, we'd select this part and then we'll use Control, and then we would just use Save Selection. And when we change, then if we select the set is selected. So as mentioned, this is already all selected. So we can also, when selecting, we can also use a select box. And there's another option over here to pick different options when selecting objects, as well as using the selection tree. So we have dimensions hide, which will hide the AutoCAD dimensions. So we can just press hide. And we have the FBX, which is the InfraWorks file type. And it was exported to an FBX file. We can just select hide, and that will hide everything except the road. So all of these files were previously selected like this, using Control and Shift, and then we saved the set, and then we created the set, and now we hid the set. To create an animation now, we go to the animator on the Home tab, and we select animator. And we have this blank page, and to create an animation, we want to go to the bottom left and select Add Scene. Add Scene. And we'll give our scene a name of, we call it Truck Unloading. And the first thing that we'll do is select the scene. We'll right click and we will add a camera. And we'll select blank camera. And for the camera, we can just leave the name as camera. And what we will want to do now is pick the camera points along the timeline. So over here, I already saved the viewpoints for the camera. But just to show how to save a viewpoint, it's as easy as just going over here and then right-clicking on the saved viewpoints and save a viewpoint. A new viewpoint is created. And we can create a folder to organize all the viewpoints, which is what happened here. So we already have all of the viewpoints selected. So this is the viewpoints that the camera will be moving, and we'll add them along the timeline. So we'll go over here to camera, and we'll select 9 seconds. And we will want to select the viewpoint that we want to see. So we'll select the viewpoint number 2. For viewpoint 0, we'll select the first viewpoint. So we have to move this black bar. So we'll just select, and we basically press this button. So we have to have camera selected, this bar over here, this row, and then we add the viewpoints. So then for 12 seconds, we'll be picking another viewpoint. So we can either go to 12, or we can just type here. And now we will select viewpoint number 3. And then we'll go to 16 seconds. I'll select viewpoint number 4. And then we'll go to 28 seconds. And and we'll select viewpoint number 5, and it's making this weird noise, but that shouldn't affect the functionality of the software. We'll go to viewpoint at 30 seconds, and we'll select this one, and that should be good for now. And number 6, we'll select over here, this viewpoint. So we have to have the viewpoint selected first, and then we capture the keyframe. So now, when we press play, this is what our animation is going to look like. So it's jumping from viewpoint to viewpoint. So the truck will be eventually arriving over here, and then we will be focusing on the forklift, which will be moving, and then we'll be moving to this area over here and dropping the crate. To move objects to the initial position, we'll first select the object, so for example the truck, and then we would go to Item Tools, and we will be using the Move and the Rotate tools to put the objects in the initial position. So when we select Move, the truck moves, and when we select the truck, if we move it, in its transform, we can see how much the truck was moved. So originally, I think it was 0, 0, 0 for the origin, but through transformations, these are the values that the truck has. I'm going to undo this change. I'm pressing the wrong button. So that's how we move. We select the items that we want to move, and then we go to Item Tools, and we can move or rotate. Once the items are set, I'm going to get close to the selection tree. We don't need it anymore. So once the items are set, now we will be selecting the truck and the crate, and it highlights. And now we will right-click our scene, and we'll select Add Animation Set from Current Selection. And we can say it's this animation will be called Truck Arriving. Now, to move in the animation, the first thing that we're going to do is the black bar is here. We'll create one frame over here so that it captures the location, the initial location. And then we will go all the way to 9 seconds. We'll click this button just for the camera, just so that we go to the 9 seconds, but then we can go back to the truck arriving animation. And now we will be clicking the Translate Animation Set. And we can zoom out and move to better move the truck. So we will be moving the truck all the way here. It's very important that the timeline is at 9 seconds, because we will be capturing a keyframe, and then it will go from the initial position to the 9-second one. So when we move the truck, you can see that the road did not quite follow. It's not as straight. It's not aligned with the move arrow. So now we will be moving a little bit to the right. And we can select the rotate, and we can rotate a little bit to the right as well, just a tiny bit. And now let's move this a bit forward. We need to select the move, and we'll move it a bit forward, and maybe a bit more to the right. To orbit the mouse, use Shift and the middle mouse button to use the orbit tool. So this looks good. And now that we have our truck in the location that we want it to be, we can just capture the keyframe. Let's like capture keyframe. When we play our animation, the truck will be moving near to the location we want. And the animation the truck will stop there. So now we will be going back to the 9 seconds, and we will want to pan out close to the truck. We don't need to follow the camera. The camera is already set, and we can get out of the camera and to help us put the objects in the location we want. We'll select a new set, and we'll select the side. So we'll go to truck side, and we'll create a new scene. So we'll go back to the scene, and we select Add Animation Set from Current Selection, and this time we'll call it Side Lowering. So let's just lower the side. So we'll zoom in on the side. We select it. We'll capture a keyframe of the initial position. Now we will select the move tool, and we can just lower the side. And we can lower that like this, and we capture the keyframe. So now when the truck reaches its destination, you can't quite see because the camera is moving, but if we give it some more space, some more time, we can move the time, then we'll be able to see the side slowly lowering. It's still lowering. Okay. If we want the side to lower and then go up, all we need to do is select ping pong, and what this will do is we'll add the inverse of this animation over here. And so when the side is lowering, it lowers, and then it would start going up. We can't quite see it because the camera is not showing it, but I'm going to pause the scene here and look and see that the side did go up. So we can adapt the viewpoints after so that all these scenes are showing. So it's when creating animations, we first create a draft and then we tweak all of the animations and viewpoints to our preference. So now we'll be creating an animation for the forklift moving. So we can just go over here. So when the side lower, so we will select the forklift, and then we'll right click on the truck loading and we'll say from current selection, and we'll call this forklift moving. And we'll go to the time that we want, and we will save one of these animations over here, and then we will move the mouse a little bit. Let's say we'll move it to 16 seconds. This should be over here, and we will create one animation over here, but first we'll move the forklift. So over here there's a ramp, so we will be wanting to save a frame here. And we will want to raise the fork, so we'll select just the fork of the forklift, and we'll create another animation for the fork moving because it will be also separate from the forklift. We want one just for the fork moving. So we'll save the keyframe of the fork still, and now when we go, we'll probably even want to move the fork a little bit before it reaches that edge, and over here we'll want the fork to move up. So let's say to this distance, and we can even rotate the fork a little bit. We select rotate, and we give it a bit of an angle, so that it's not too, okay, like that. And we capture the keyframe. So now, when we play our animation, we have the forklift truck moving and the fork lifting as well. So now the forklift is moving. It should move a bit forward or to get close to over here. So we'll capture this keyframe. And when the forklift is moving, now we'll have to rotate to go over the curve. So we'll just move a bit forward in the timeline. We'll move the forklift a bit up, and we'll select the rotation, the rotate. We will move the center of the rotation so that it snaps to the wheel, and we will be rotating from the wheel. We can even move it a little bit more to the center of the forklift, and then we'll give it a little bit of a rotation so that the wheels are above, and we capture this keyframe. So now when the forklift is moving, let's see how the animation looks like. Go a bit forward, and then we select the move, and we'll just move it lower a bit, and we'll capture the keyframe, and we'll move the forklift a little bit more, the truck. So we'll need first, I forgot to do this, we'll need to go first a bit in time so that the frame is over here, and now we move it. So let's just get close to it, and we'll capture the keyframe, and we'll go back to the fork moving, and at this time it needs to be a bit lower so that it matches. So we'll select the move, it's already selected. And this looks good enough. Obviously, with more time, we would be able to make it fit better the model so that there's less clashes. Let's just lower this, and then we can move the fork a little bit up. So we can capture this keyframe, and then we can go back to the forklift moving at that time, and at this time we actually want it to be a tiny bit closer. So even a bit closer maybe. Okay. And we capture this keyframe, and it will replace the one that was already there. So now when we play our animation, we have the forklift going up the curb and then starting to pick up the box. We'll have to edit our viewpoint, because right now it's going from over here to over here, and this needs to be forward a little bit. So we'll just move this one a bit forward, this one, and this one. Maybe we just need another viewpoint over here. So we can just save another viewpoint. We can just right click, save viewpoint, and we can just capture the frame over here, just to make sure. I could give it a new name and put it over here, but just to save time, let's just do this. So now the fork seems to be penetrating the box. So we will want to adjust those small changes, but I'll probably do them offline, because we already explored the principles needed to move the fork and rotate it. And here is the final video that we created. We did a lot of the tasks offline, because in order to save time so that the video wouldn't be too long. So we have the truck moving. And it stops, and now we aligned the frames, the camera frames, the viewpoints. We still didn't correct over there. There was still a clash. The lift truck lifts the box and goes down the curb, and it then puts the crate down. And this was all achieved with the move tool and the rotate tool. We will now explore how to create scripts. I opened a different model where we have some doors that we will want to open. In the animator, we already created the animation to create those doors. I'm playing now the animation, and using the commands that we previously explored, we moved the doors and rotated in the first doors. We have some change in the viewpoint, and the doors close. So that's the animation, and when we go back in the animation, in the beginning, we have over here at 4 seconds the door is closed, and at 6 seconds the doors are open. And what's controlling these two doors from moving is these two animations. And when we go over here, we have the slide inner left, and over here we have the door is closed, and in here the door is open to the side. So using the move and rotation tools. So we created an animation, but now we don't want to just play our animations in a video. We want to control them using scripts. So we will want to go to the Animation tab, and we'll want to make sure that Enable Scripts is turned off, and we'll open Scripter. In the Scripter, I already created the script that we will need, but I'll be deleting everything so that we can create a script from the beginning. So we will first click Add New Script, and we can say it's open door. And if we go to the animator, let's just move to we'll just stop this so that the animation is at 0 seconds. We'll go back to the scripter, and now to open the door, we can even create folders before we continue. So we can call this front doors and sliding doors. And we can move our scripts to this particular one. We'll go to the front door. Then we can have another script. We'll create another one, and we'll call it close doors. I'll just edit that typo. So in open doors, we have events, and we have multiple types of events. We have on start, timer, on key press, so we'll be using the key press, on collision, and on hotspot, on variable, and on animation. We'll select the on hotspot, and then this is the first event that we have. For the hotspot, we can select a sphere, and we can trigger the event when entering, and we can pick a radius. So we'll just select pick, and we'll click near the door. For the radius, let's give it a radius of 20 feet. We'll just press 20, and it's automatically filled. So now when we approach this area, this hotspot, our script will start. And what scripts do we want to start? Well, we want to play an animation. So let's go back to the animator, and we will want to play this specific animation, which will open the door, the outer right door. So this is hinge outer right, hinge outer left. So we want to play both. So we have 2, and it's from 4 seconds to 6 seconds. Okay, so we go back to the script, and we select play animation, and the animation that we'll want will be the hinge outer left. We want to start at a specified time, so the door is closed at 4 seconds and ending at a specified time at 6 seconds. And so this will, when we come close, we'll open the left door. So we'll play another animation, and this time we'll play it to open the door over here on the right. And the specified time, so we have 4 seconds and 6 seconds. So this is going to go to the beginning, to this animation, and at 4 seconds, the model is in this position, and at 6 seconds is in this position. So we'll test our script. So we're good now. So we have open doors, and we just have to press enable scripts. And now everything is grayed out because we cannot edit scripts when enable script is open. We'll go to the walk command, and now when we get close to the door, it will open. So when I get close to the door, it will repeat so now it's open. We didn't add a script to close. So even if the doors are open, it will repeat that exact animation when we get close to 20 feet. It's not the distance is a bit off because when we calculate from here to over here, it's 15 feet, 16 feet, but we said that it's 20 feet, so it might be a bit off. So just keep that in mind. So we'll go back to walk, and when we get close to the door, the script will execute. So now we will go back to animation. We'll turn off enable scripts. We'll go now, and we are going to create a similar animation for closing the doors. So when we're entering the hotspot, the doors open, and when we leave the area, the hotspot, the radius, the doors will close. So it's basically the same. We're going to go on hotspot. We again select sphere. Now we trigger when we leave. we pick the place, we give it 20. We'll just click somewhere else so this fills. And now we're gonna play the same exact animations, but this time we're gonna play them specified time. We're gonna play it. So now we want the door when it's closed, or when it's open, I mean, sorry. And we want it to close. So it's basically the opposite. We pick the specified time, and we do again 6 to 4 seconds. And we enable the scripts. And now, when we get close to the area, the door opens, and when we leave it, the door closes. So we can stay here. The door will still be open as long as we stay here, but as soon as we leave this area, the door closes. So basically that's the event that we're triggering, is the hotspot. Let's go back to enabling scripts. And now we explore the hotspot script. Let's just explore the on key press. This one is when we press a key, the animations will trigger. So we'll select key pressed instead of key up or key down. I'm pressing down, just key pressed. And we're gonna give the animation of opening a door. We'll just give it the letter J to be triggered. So now we need to change the operand because at the moment it's an AND command, but we want it to be an R. So we want to either be close to the hotspot or we want it to press the key. And over here, we're going to do the same thing, and we are going to add another event, and we'll change the type to R. And over here, we're going to use the letter K, and we'll use key pressed, and that should be good. So now when we enable the scripts, if I press J, the door opens, and if I press K, the door closes. We can't close and open at the same time. It's not smooth. So if I press J and then K, automatically it would open. So we would still have to wait, but now I press J and the door opens. I press K, the door closes. And if I get close to the door opens. If I get out of range, the door closes.